Hi, Molly.
Hi, Molly.
Hello, Molly.
Cheers, Molly, and everyone else. I'm really sorry that I can't be there for your shower.
Molly, we love you. We're really sad we can't be there.
We are very sad we can't be there.
So the sisters and I decided to put together a video for you.
What recipe did you choose for Molly's shower and why?
So I chose our gorgonzola gnocchi recipe because it's super easy, but it impresses everyone. So I often wind up overcommitting my week and telling people I can have them over for dinner, and then I either forget to plan a meal or forget that I needed to have time to plan a meal. So you can grab like 5 or 6 things at the grocery store. Trader Joe's has them all. Throw them on the stove and poof, you have dinner.
Ironically, I chose the recipe I made for dinner tonight, but I actually had to pick before we knew this was the same night. So I have a King Ranch chicken casserole, and the story behind this recipe is for our wedding, I got a recipe book from Ski and Kimski, and it had a couple of their favorite recipes in it. 2 years later, we were visiting them on a ski trip, and she made this recipe, and Steve got all excited, and she gave it to me, and then I discovered that I had had the recipe for 2 years and never made it. So it's a great go-to recipe that everybody loves.
And look at all your wedding presents.
Yes.
Like, look through everything. My recipe is from my favorite recipe book, which is conveniently pretty much the only one I use, even though I have a number of them.
Because it has to do with wine.
I actually wrote you the recipe because it's really good without the wine pairing. And Casey can attest to it. We made it for my birthday this year, and it's awesome. And is always a crowd pleaser. Is also a really fun date because
it takes forever.
It takes a really long time, but it's really involved. And
it's also the first time she had fried food, like deep fried food.
Yeah, I
so
never.
She did not know what that meant.
The first time I made it, I actually only used like a tiny bit of oil to fry with, and Mac was like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm frying things," and he was like, "No, you need." And he just started pouring canola oil into the pot, and I freaked out at him, and I told him he was doing it all wrong. And then I found out that I didn't know how to fry food.
Recipe for a good marriage. Marry a good guy.
My tips for good marriage are communicate. Always be willing to adventure together and keep learning from each other. So Robert and I have done so many things together that I don't think we would have ever done individually.
And communication.
Yeah, communication is key. Okay. My recipe for a good marriage is to approach conflict humbly. You might be wrong, although maybe not, but sometimes you could be wrong, or at least partially wrong, like 20%.
Ooh, recipe for a good date night. Have fun. Do something fun that you all enjoy. Like, it doesn't have to be a lot of money, it doesn't have to be anything over the top, but have fun and make time for each other.
So yeah, a recipe for a good date night is being able to talk really openly. Sometimes it just takes a walk around the block.
Consistency. We set aside a day a week or an evening a week for the last 11 plus years that we go on a date. And so it doesn't really matter what's happening around us. We go on a date.
There was a theme to the gifts that we got you. These are some of our favorite tools in the kitchen. While time doesn't permit us to tell you about each and every one, there's a special someone that would like to tell you about what they got for you.
Hey, Molly. I love you. Sorry I'm not there, but I'm a man, so I wasn't invited, which is sexist. But I still got you something because I love you. And my favorite kitchen utensil is Katie, because she makes all the stuff in the kitchen normally. But I make bread sometimes, so I got you the thing that I score the bread with so that you can make bread too. I love you.
Test 1 2 3. Test 2 3 1. Oops, 3 2 1.
To look at any situation that you're actually upset at and figure out how you might be in the wrong.
I'm never in the wrong though.
I'm never
so
in
I don't
the
know
wrong
that
either.
Not how you definitely are. We used to go on just little walks around our neighborhood because Steve and Casey always did that. And I think that's a really great way to have conversation for free.
What are your tips for a good marriage?
No, what's my recipe for a good marriage?
Yeah, but the parenthetical says, is there a better way to say this so it's not exactly like the last one?
But the theme is recipes. What was the question?
What's your recipe for a good marriage?
Maybe don't correct your spouse all the time.
That's a start.